It's over 30 years ago that my husband brought me to this community. And one of the, unfortunately, things that I remember is that they had to go to a funeral. And who was doing the eulogy? This man, Barry Schulman. He gets up and does the eulogy, and I turned to my husband and said, I don't know who that is, but when I die, I want him to do my eulogy. Then I got to know him. I still want him to do my eulogy. May it not be for many years. Barry, when you get to know our next honoree, you'll find that you're dealing with him on two planes, the known and the unknown. The known has to do with all of the agencies he's helped, such as the JCC, Temple Adath Yeshurun, the Federation, and on and on. The unknown are the people he's helped, confidentially and quietly. And it's out of respect for his not wishing to go public about most of what he does that I now have to end this introduction and say, here's Barry.
Marcy, excuse me. I'm a little disappointed because Mel and David got to speak so lovely and eloquently about their parents. And we didn't get an opportunity. If we had, we might have prepared something. So for those of you who don't know us, we're Barry and Debbie's children. I'm Mark, my sister Jennifer, and on behalf of myself, my wife Jennifer, my sister Allison, and her husband Larry, who couldn't be here today, we're thrilled to be here to help introduce our father.
And even though you may not know us, you obviously surely know our father. He may even be known to some of you as Uncle Barry, very possibly. You know for sure that he is talented, brilliant, multilingual, and extremely generous. But do you also know that he's a bit of a control freak when it comes to time? He gets to airports 4 hours early, no joke. Gets to Broadway shows about 2 hours early. Oh, no. And it's a point of pride that when he's in charge of events such as this, his speeches and everybody else's run quickly and smoothly.
So basically, he's a little bit nervous right now. He doesn't know how long we're going to take. He doesn't know what we're going to be saying. Sorry, Dad. He doesn't know if we're going to tell you about the personalized songs he's written for weddings and bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs as well. For all he knows, we're going to break into a chorus of Allison, You're the One. I'm sure the thought of it, just look, it's making him fidget right now.
He doesn't know if we'll tell you about the time he bought a copy of the Birkat Hamazon on 8-track tape to play in long car rides so we'd learn every word. He doesn't know if we'll right now break into one of the duets he taught us in our basement or one of the tap numbers he made sure to painstakingly teach us.
He doesn't know if we're going to tell you about the time when he was 5 years old and he decided to sneak out past his babysitter by going out the second-story window and down a treehouse just so he can go sing God Bless America on a local radio show. And the only reason he got caught was his parents happened to be listening to that very station.
We could tell you about the time when he stood up and sang to a whole restaurant in California.
First time it had ever happened.
Yes, we got free desserts, I believe, because they said nobody had ever gotten up and just sang.
Sang back to the restaurant.
Or how he got up in a restaurant in Budapest to show the Hungarians how to do a proper Czardas dance.
Or my personal favorite, the time he was singing French folk songs with a Filipino mariachi band at an Italian restaurant in Hong Kong. He doesn't know what we're going to say next. And now you can see he's really starting to get worried.
But Dad, don't worry, you've taught us very well. So we'll end on time, maybe a little early, that's your favorite thing, because we listen to you. Yes, we really do listen to you. And we're so very thankful for all the lessons you've taught us, for your wonderful example. You are our best cheerleader, our unyielding support, and our role model.
We love you very much, and we're very proud of you, and we're thrilled that we could be here to share in this and the Simcha today.
And with that, you can relax. The unexpected is over, we think, maybe. You're back in charge of the clock, at least until your comments are over. So we love you very much. Congratulations.
Our Kavod Gadol Award goes to Barry Shulman.
So I really felt that Marcy's introduction of me was very short. It's exactly what I asked her to do. I didn't know that Mark and Jennifer would participate so wonderfully. Allison, they neglected to tell you, is expecting a little baby boy on July 8th or earlier. So yes, we figured there was enough excitement here tonight without her being here as well. And I asked Marcy to keep it short, knowing all the while how difficult that must have been for her. but here I was. I want to thank everybody who traveled here long distances, including Mark and Jennifer, but not all distances are geographic. A lot of distances can be Judaic. And I wanted to thank Rabbi Shore and others who are here who helped figure out how to make the journey so that this absolutely wonderful event could take place. Isn't it great? I mean, with the setting and everything. So thank you very much for that. And congratulations to the other nominees. Had I known, David would have done me as well, because there's nobody writing better than he does. Chucky and Alex, when I first moved to Syracuse, took me to New York City to an American Jewish Committee meeting. It was way too liberal for me, but I've evolved. And Michelle, I haven't met you before, but you sound great. And Kimberly Boynton says that you are absolutely the greatest. And I just want to take a second to talk about Phyllis Charney and Mel. My mother dated Phyllis's brother, Jerry. So talk about Syracuse. And I've helped a lot of young kids over the years in one of the quiet ways that Marcy has spoken about. And you know, if you go to Ithaca, where I'm from, and you walk down the street, you see a lot of rich kids looking poor. But poor kids don't necessarily want to look poor. They want to look really nice. And so I, many times, have wheeled them into Charney's for Mel's supervisory help and Phyllis helping them and sending these kids on a journey in life looking wonderful. So for that, I really thank them very much for all of their efforts. I thought maybe you should know a little bit about me more than our kids. So a couple of weeks ago was Debbie's 50th reunion at Cornell. Okay, mine comes up in a couple of years for law school at Cornell. 1966 was my graduation date. But I am a graduate of Cornell's nursery school, class of 1943. And I reached out to the nursery school, and I have my file. And I was in the psychological evaluations of me in nursery school, which I felt are very relevant today. So I thought I'd bring you in on a couple of them, if you don't mind. One is that I love music. He carries a tune beautifully. We'll listen to records for a long time, and the tune is played once or twice, he can sing it. His singing voice is exceptionally clear and well-pitched. This is the one that got me the most. I'm 2.5 years old, and they said, to see him interpreting the Nutcracker Suite. I can't even say it with a straight face. To see him interpreting the Nutcracker Suite is a lovely experience.
Do it now.
And when I read that, I felt so bad for the lady who wrote this. How sad a life can it be when a 2-year-old's interpretation of the Nutcracker Suite is even meaningful? There were others. It said, if he can't do what he wants, he'll scream. And then, of course, well-nourished. Barry is interested in materials, but is most apt to use these to further his social interests, rather than to explore them in a creative manner. He solves problems with initiative and independence, provided the problem is well within his ability and requires no undue effort or persistence on his part. Or this, he is cheerfully cooperative as long as things go his way. He has a keen sense of humor, often directed at himself. Here I am. This one sort of shook me. He retains some desire to use adults for his own purposes, especially to control his mother. She can't even defend herself. Anyhow, to put this in historical perspective, one of the things, oh, by the way, I will sell copies of a very thick Cornell expression of me over 1942 and 1943 for a $50 check each, made payable to the Jewish community. It says, the Cornell Nursery School goes on, not much changed yet by war. Okay, this is 1942. It wasn't changed yet by war. But we are trying to expand to take in more of the families of employed mothers. So this was the time they were going out to war. And then my father dropped in. And for those of you who knew my father, this might be very meaningful. It was to me. Because here I am, an attorney at this beautiful spot in Cazenovia, and I just think there are things that need remembering. So the Cornell University School was recommended for Barry by his doctor, Dr. George Murphy. Mr. Schulman, that's my father, came in early in the spring to arrange for Barry to come to school. At that time, he talked about his own childhood. He had said that he had worked and made his own living since he was 12 years old, that he had wanted an education but had not had it, that he and his wife wanted Barry to have a good life with some of the opportunities that he and his wife had missed, and that Barry was an only child. I have a brother and a sister, but I think I still am an only child. And that Barry was an only child, and they are uncertain about how to handle him and what to expect from him. He would have been very, very pleased about today. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to all of our nominees. In a moment, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. However, before everybody leaves, every couple, if you're here